what we've got to remember is that everything around us, our circumstances, other people's expectations and opinions, it's all outside of our control until we apply our minds to it. Hi everyone, I'm Jody Kolbee and welcome to another session of What's Your Story? Something that's been resonating in my life a lot lately is how, as human beings, we invest so much into parts of our lives that we either have no control over or where we end up investing in things we have no business messing with in the first place. Many of us, we guilt ourselves into feeling as though we need to be in control all of the time, trying desperately to control each other and every little facet of our lives, someone else's life, or even someone else's opinion, worried about what other people are thinking about us, when in fact most of those things are totally 100% out of our control. So, what exactly is making us think like this or feel this way? So, let's go back to the beginning here for a quick sec. Before the feelings, before the guilt, the mindset, the circumstance, in life, there are internal and external things happening all around us and inside of us. Those things are called circumstances. They have nothing to do with us. They are simply circumstances. They live independently. There's us and there's circumstance. Simple as that. Now, I'm not saying those circumstances are your responsibility, such as careers, debt, finances, your health, your friends, or your family, whatever. I'm not saying those are your responsibility or they're not your responsibility. What I'm saying is I'm just isolating the circumstances first as if there was no association with them whatsoever to anything. Okay? It's just a matter of circumstance. So, what happens once a circumstance makes its presence known to us as individuals? Well, the first thing that happens is that it generates a thought. Okay, you acknowledge its existence, you see it there, and it gets you thinking, right? Okay, so now that that thought is sitting there spinning in your mind, the next thing to happen is that that one thought, okay, it multiplies into a few other thoughts that generate a feeling. Again, the feeling is independent. It's just a feeling. Let's isolate that. The feeling, the circumstance, the thought, okay? All of those things live in isolation. So that feeling is based off years and years of learnings, growing, and lots of other previous experiences in our lives. Okay, that's the feeling. Therefore, the feeling and us, we have an association. There's history there. And based on all of that, the feeling we're creating is either going to be negative or positive. Okay, and that's again all dependent on our previous life experiences, all of those types of things. Okay, so look, this goes beyond just your daddy issues, your mommy issues, or in worst case scenarios, years of oppression or abuse. And I hope none of you listening are suffering from that today. But either way, those things won't necessarily count in your favor just yet. Now listen up. What happens now? What do we do with all these feelings? Okay, so like I said, either positive or negative feelings, whatever we feel is going to drive an action of some kind. And depending on the extent of the feeling, we're either going to take fairly quick action or we're going to think on it for a long time before we actually make our move. But even that lack of decision is still an action, okay? Inaction is still an action because you've decided to do that. What happens next is that we've started creating change through the action, all right? The type of change that happens is either going to be good or bad. Who knows? But that's all on us, okay? It's nobody else's fault. It's all on us. That action, the decision, the decisiveness, that's on us. Now let's reset here for another sec. All that guilt, whether there are things, that aren't looking great in our lives, we haven't lost the weight, our career is not where it should be, we grew up in a difficult household, we never had the best education, all that baggage, all that junk It's totally outside of our control. You can't go back in time. You can't reverse all those things, okay? So, what is within our control? Well, step two is in our control. Remember what I said? We have the circumstance and then we have the thought, okay? So, the thought, our thinking, that we have control of. We're in control of our own thoughts, not somebody else's thoughts, ours. We're in control of that. So, whatever your beef is, whatever your story is that happened before this moment, right now, that's just a set of circumstances. You can't reverse, your past. You can't change things. But how you apply your mind to whatever is going on in your life or whatever is going to change what happens next for the rest of your life. It's all about mindset. And you can decide if your mindset is going to acknowledge the hurt, the hardship, the resistance, the difficulties, the challenge in the circumstance, or whatever you're going to say. Let's do this, or whatever. It's going to change the way you react to things. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't take responsibility where you're accountable. No. Accountability is exceptionally important in this. That's part of a positive and productive mindset. But what I'm saying and what I'm giving you right now are the tools to take back your way of thinking, your perception, your power. That's what I want you to take a look at today and ask yourself, how has my circumstances altered my thinking? And what would I prefer my thinking, not my feeling? Remember, that comes after we've mastered our thinking. But how would I prefer my thinking to be? Once you've figured that out, it's going to open up a whole new world, okay? A whole new world of possibility in your career, your business, your relationship, your goals. Everything is about to change. You are in control of your thought. You are in control of your mindset. So when circumstances happen around you on a day-by-day basis, okay? I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about things that are happening, in your future, things that might even be happening today. Someone comes to you with a problem, you know in your mind that that's their problem to fix. You also don't want to end up fixing everybody else's problems because then you are contributing towards that. People need to learn to be proactive. And you could decide to teach them how to be proactive. That's a productive mindset, okay? That's responsible. That is helping somebody else take accountability. But you are not responsible for someone else's responsibilities, okay? Reset your mind. Think about that. You've got to change your mindset and the way that you see circumstances in your life. Those circumstances live in isolation until we take them on as responsibilities. And if you genuinely have responsibilities, you have to take accountability for those things. But all of the things that happened in your past, those things cannot hold you back. Your mindset is the only thing holding you back from changing your thinking and thereby changing your actions today. Well, that's all from me today, guys. I hope this session has added value to your life and that it's broadened your mind to what's truly possible. Do chat to me if you need guidance in any area of your life that you feel needs work, whether it's your brand, your business, or whatever. But I hope that this has really opened your mind into how you can control and reshape your mindset. I'm Jody Kolbee, and this was another session of What's Your Story? I hope you have a productive day, and remember to be the narrator of your own story.